Hi guys! So spring is here! Well, it is in the northern hemisphere anyway. It's coming into autumn in the southern hemisphere, which is kind of depressing, but most of my viewers live in the northern hemisphere, so I thought I would do a spring inspired tutorial. So I want to do something that's really bronzy and fresh and glowy and pretty, kind of taking inspiration from maybe Blake Lively or Sienna Miller, you know, that real beautiful California beach babe look. So if you want to see the tutorial, then keep watching. So you can probably see I have some fake tan on, and for those of you curious what tan I use, the one that I always come back to is the Sally Hanson tan, and it's called Spray On Perfect Legs in an Instant. Leg makeup, airbrush legs, there we go. I just read the whole bottle, Sharon. Airbrush legs. So it's like a makeup, you spray it, you can spray it directly onto the skin, but I don't do that. I actually like to spray it onto a kabuki brush and then buff it in. It doesn't take as long as you would think. I know that sounds like it's really labor intensive, but it's actually quite quick. It's kind of got coverage in it, so for Irish skin that's very, very fair, or any skin that's very fair, it's always quite translucent, so my skin can look a little bit mottled, like you can see veins and stuff like that. So because this has coverage in it, it evens out your skin too, and it sets like nothing else. It's like cement when it's on. It does not come off unless you actually wash it off with soap in the shower. So yeah, I really, really like that, and I've got the colour medium on. Normally I use the light colour. It comes in light, medium and dark. Normally I use the light one. It just gives a little bit of a glow without looking too orangey. I find the medium one is a little bit too dark for me, but with the lights on camera, the light one doesn't really show up, so that's why I have the medium one on today. Anyway, into the tutorial. So the foundation I'm going to use is Max Face and Body in the colour C2, and I'm nearly out of it. I can't believe I've actually managed to get through an entire bottle of Face and Body. I'm using my Royal & Anglical Contour Shadow Brush to apply that. And I do actually think that using your hands is the best way to put on face and body, but I really don't want to get makeup all over my hands. So I'm just gonna stick it out and use a brush. It takes so much longer to apply with a brush, but yeah, I just really couldn't be bothered because it's a really difficult makeup to get off because it's waterproof. So if it gets under your nails and stuff, it is a bit of a nightmare to clean. Next, I'm going to take some concealer. I'm using Benefit's Boing Concealer in number 2, and that's for my blemishes. And just dabbing it on with a Nye DB8 brush. And then for concealer under my eyes, I'm going to use MAC Pro Longwear in the colour NW20. I'm actually going to switch brush over to the Sigma E40 now. And before I set that with powder, I'm just going to take some of my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the colour Moonstone and just use that to highlight kind of the high points of the face. It is just easier to blend onto the skin before you've powdered it. I love this stuff so much. It's one of the like finest highlighters I've ever used. Like it doesn't, like there's zero sparkle whatsoever. It's just pure shine. It is so fabulous. And it's really easy to blend. I used to work for Benefit actually years ago, and I could never ever get the hang of high beam. I don't know what it is about the texture of it. I could just never get it to blend over foundation without it caking. This is just stunning. And then I'm going to set with Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm only going to use this in the center of the face, really. So I still have a little bit of shine coming through on the cheekbones and the brow bone. Next, I'm going to add some bronzer, and I'm using the Chanel Bronze Universal, and I'm going to stick with the same brush I used for my foundation. So I'll start off applying it under the cheekbone, and I am going to blend it up to the top of the cheekbone as well. Into the temple. And around the hairline, the top of the forehead. Also, I'm going to take it down my nose and across this area. Just that really makes your skin look really sun-kissed. Because obviously if you were actually in the sun, your nose being, well for me anyway, the highest point of your face, it gets the majority of the sun. I'm going to do the blush now. I might have to come back after the eyes are done to touch it up or to add more. We'll see after it's done. But I'm using Benefit's Coralista, which is a beautiful spring colour, and it smells peachy. It's quite a strong fragrance actually for a powder, but I like it. This is a MAC 109 brush I'm using. So I'm kind of taking that right up onto the cheekbone as well. And also just a little bit on my brow bone. Just that slightly pink colour will make it look like, you know, you're just back in from a day in the sun. You've gotten a little bit of sunshine on your face. And also on the nose and the chin. Just kind of ties the whole thing together. If you think you've gone a little bit overboard, just take your foundation brush, just blend it in. I'm gonna move on to my brows, and I want my brows to be very, very soft and natural, not too defined. I'm just gonna use eyeshadow through them. And the colours I'm using today on my brows and my eyes are from the Coastal Scents 28 pan palette. I know you can get these from loads of other different places. You can buy them on eBay. I think BH Cosmetics do them as well. So they're just really cheap and cheerful. And I think I'm gonna use this colour on my brows. Kind of looks like Wedge by MAC. Just on a MAC 266 angle brush. I'm just going to go in with my Lingering Brow Pencil by MAC and just fill in any little gaps. Just sometimes it's hard to be precise with eyeshadow. So just to kind of even them out a little bit more. Not even them out, but fill in any little gaps. And also this outside bit, because there's no hairs there, the eyeshadow doesn't really stick to it as well, so pencil will work a bit better. So next I'm going to go back into the palette and I'm going to take this colour here. And I'm going to dust that all over the lid with my MAC 217. Almost coming up as far as the brow, almost but not quite. Next I'm going to go into this colour here, which is a white gold that almost has a slightly green kind of duochrome colour through it. And I'm just going to put it in here. It's a really cool colour. Next I'm going to go into this colour. So next I'm going to go under the eyes and I'm going to take this colour here, which is under the kind of mauvey colour there, back onto my pencil brush. Smudge that under the eyes. And I want this to be actually quite smoky under here. Not in a dark way, but just like it's really, really kind of blown out and blended. I think that looks really sexy. Just take my 217 again and blend. And then just to balance out the top with the bottom again, because it's quite bottom heavy at the moment, I'm going to go into a darker colour. I think I'm going to use this guy here, and I'm going to line my top lashes. And when I say line, I just really mean press it into the roots of the lashes. And then on this outside bit, just lift it a little bit. Make it a tiny bit thicker out there. Back into my pencil brush and just very gently soften that a little bit. Next I'm going to put on some mascara, and today I'm actually using a different one. I'm using MAC's Opulash, and the reason I'm going for this is coming into the summer, springtime when the weather gets a little bit hotter, it's nice to wear mascaras that are kind of, you can use waterproof mascaras, but even ones that are like splash proof or smudge proof, and Opulash is really good for that actually. It's like humidity proof, so if you get a bit oily or shiny or sweaty, it's quite a good one for lasting, so that's why I'm using this. But it's a little bit easier to remove than waterproof mascara because sometimes they can just be such a nightmare to take off at the end of the day. It's kind of a nice compromise. So that's it with mascara on, and I put loads of mascara on. I think maybe 4 layers, top and bottom. I really like lots of mascara, and I look like this. I don't know, I just think it looks really fresh and girly, even though it shouldn't look fresh and girly, but I think it does. Now on the lips, I'm actually going to do more of a matte lip. The skin is quite shiny, the eyes are quite frosty, so I just think it would look very shiny if I did a glossy lip as well. And it's a little bit unexpected because, you know, everyone always has like shiny, glossy, balmy lips this time of year. I think it would just be a little bit different with a more matte lip. So I'm going to use a Barry M lipstick, and this is 147. This color, like a peachy coral kind of color. This color is it can look actually quite chalky if you put it on too heavy, so that's why I'm using a brush, so I can kind of do a light enough layer and really work it into the lip. And then just because I like to make my lips look bigger, I'm gonna go around with some Subculture lip liner just to kind of shade around my lips. If you've got naturally big lips, then you definitely don't have to do this. And that's the finished look. I hope you like it. Just something fresh and glowy. So as usual, there'll be more pictures on the blog of the finished look so you can see everything in better detail. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter and blah blah blah, because it's there that I update, like if I have a new blog post or something like that, I always update people via Twitter or Facebook. So if you follow me, then you'll never miss anything like that. Also, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, you should subscribe. And before I go, actually, I just wanted to say how much fun I had reading the comments from my makeup pet peeves video. You guys are hilarious. Myself and Paul were sitting out having a beer. We were sitting on the balcony having a beer with the laptop, just wetting ourselves laughing. Apparently I look like RuPaul. I'm sure he would take massive offense to that. And like I was off something from My Big Fat Gypsy Wedding or Snog, Marry, Avoid. Oh, it was so funny. So I'm really glad you guys enjoyed that video. But anyway, that's enough from me. Hope you like this one. See you very soon. Goodbye.